Hi everyone, this is Species Elite Athlete Anthony Pasquale checking in with you for another video. Today we're going to be making a dish I like. I actually use it in the off season. It's a spicy pasta dish that doesn't require any sort of red sauce or gravy. I don't really use a lot of tomato products and things like that when I'm in the off season. It's not, it takes a lot of time to make a gravy and things of that sort. So for me, it's just easier to make stuff that doesn't require a lot of prep time. So this spicy pasta dish you can add chicken to, or I guess steak to, or whatever, fish, whatever you want to do. But it's basically used to easily get in a lot of good nutrients and a lot of carbs pretty easily. This is what you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is some sort of pasta, some sort of a pound of pasta. So I use this one for this particular recipe. I like the Barilla products personally. I like the way they taste. This one is one of the ones with more protein in it. You can use that. Do I prefer these? Honestly, no, not anymore, because they take more time to digest. See, the more protein in there, the more fiber in there, the more carbs in there, the harder it's going to be for you to digest that food. That may not be a bad thing if you're someone just looking to maintain, but if you're someone such as myself who's trying to get 80 grams to 100 grams of carbohydrates down every meal, it can really start to build up in your system, and it's uncomfortable, and it makes your other meals that much harder to eat. So this is kind of a special treat for me, as I'm about 5 weeks or so out from really starting my diet where I won't be eating pasta. So you're going to need a box of pasta of your choice. You're also going to need some roasted bell peppers. You can buy them in any shape or form. You're basically going to need a small jar, but you could use more. I like the ones that are already pre-sliced a little bit. That way when I cut them up later, it's a little less work for me. You're also going to need some extra virgin olive oil, some roasted red pepper flakes, and these two are important. Your basil and your mint. The mint I really think is important. It really adds a really nice taste to the dish. You're going to have a lot of things here that are going to make it a little bit more spicy or have a little bit of a kick to it, but the mint really complements everything and neutralizes things and makes the dish taste a lot better, in my opinion. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you need to go ahead and cook up your pasta. Just get that done with. Throw it in some sort of pot or whatever and cook it up, which I've already done. I already did that portion. It's sitting in the back. So after you cook that up, you're going to go ahead and make basically some sort of a olive oil based glaze or whatever you want to call it for the dish. That's just going to really make the flavors of everything combine well with the pasta. The one thing I did forget to mention that you're going to need is garlic. You're going to notice here I have 2 cloves of garlic. That's just going to once again add some flavor to the dish as well as some nutrients. Everything here adds flavor, but it also has some sort of benefit to the human body as well. Obviously we know garlic, great for the heart, it's great, antioxidant and things of that sort. It'll kill everything in the system. Any foods with color are your friends. The red peppers here, you're going to notice when this dish is done, it's colorful. You have red, you have greens, you obviously have some garlic and things of that. Colors are very good. They're cancer fighters, and it's a good indication that you're going down the right track as far as health. So let's go ahead and get the olive oil portion of the dish started. So you're going to need about a quarter, you could do whatever you want, but I'd start with a quarter cup of olive oil. You're going to put that into the pan, some sort of skillet pan. And what you're going to do is basically just make sure you coat the pan a little bit. The olive oil sometimes settles in one spot. Just go ahead and make sure you coat the whole lining of the pan, like I'm doing right now. I know you really can't see in there. So that's all set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set that to medium, medium high, not real high, but a little bit up there. That's just going to get the olive oil heated a little bit. You don't want the olive oil to burn. You don't want anything with this dish to burn. So in particular the garlic. The garlic, don't cut it up too small, because if you cut it up too small, it's going to be a pain to get out of the olive oil, which you're going to see in a second. So I take my two cloves of garlic. I'm going to cut those up, not very small. I'm just basically going to cut them in half. So I'm going to cut these up. And once the oil's heated, which usually doesn't take that long, you're just going to put the garlic in the dish, and you're going to let that get to a nice golden brown. You don't want it dark, you don't want it black, you don't want a funny aroma to fill the room. That means you've cooked it too long. So you're just going to put it in there till you get a nice healthy brown color. At that point, I want you to go ahead and remove the garlic. So that's what you're going to be doing. While this olive oil heats up real quick, I'll just go over some stuff with you guys pertaining to stuff that's going on. Just so you know, I know I've had a lot of people asking for workout videos and things, and those are coming. We did shoot some some videos at the Arnold Classic, so you can go ahead and see those in the upcoming weeks. I'm sure those are going to be up on the Species website. Make sure you start checking out the website now, because the new speciesnutrition.com page is up. They pretty much rebooted the whole thing, and I don't even know what type of content's going to be going up there. I mean, I know you're going to have the videos and the blogs and a lot of things about the athletes and and everyone. So I think it's going to evolve, but I definitely think it's going to be something that you're going to be looking at daily, if not weekly, just to get some information about what everyone's doing and how they're doing things going into their preps. So look for the workout videos to be going up on there and the YouTube page in the immediate future. So as that, now I can see, I can hear the oil popping a little bit. You get those little poppers. I'm going to go ahead and throw the garlic in, and this will cook pretty quick. This is just going to basically once again give it some flavor. While that's going on, you might as well go ahead and prep the other portions of the dish to make it easier for you when that's done. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the basil and mint up. You can use as much, these are big packets. There's no rule here of how much you're supposed to use. I basically, now see it's simmering a little bit, so I'm going to turn that down. I can hear it crunching back there. You don't want it to burn. I basically, I pretty much just eyeball it. I just use, say I have a packet that's an ounce, I probably use a half to 2/3 of it, and then I'll save it for the basil and the mint for other dishes that I like. So I go ahead and pull the basil leaves off the stems. You can, of course, truthfully, it's always a good idea to wash your produce type items before you use them. I normally do with an all-natural vegetable solvent, but truthfully with the basil and stuff, I don't have the time. I just kind of want to get it done. So I got that now. You might even be able to hear that popping over there. Turn that down a little bit more. I had it on medium-high at around 7 on the stove, and now it's already down to 4 as that's cooking up. So here we go. I have probably more than enough basil now, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that up. Once again, I don't get too fancy about it. It'd be embarrassing to show you guys how I cut this up. I don't care if I have whole leaves in there when it's all said and done. I just like it for the taste and the health. So that's my primary things. I mean, if I had some sort of a food processor or a salsa maker, I used to have a salsa maker, that'd be great. I could just throw that in here and throw it in there and slice up everything into nice fine little pieces. So all right, now that my basil is getting cut up here, that garlic should be just about ready just to flip the pieces a little bit. So yeah, some sides of them are going to get a little bit more color than others. Let's see if I can pick this one up real quick and show you. See, you have like a light brown going on, whereas on this side it's still, it's natural color. So once the whole portions of the clove have that nice golden brown to them, you're ready to move on to the next portion of the dish. Also, keep in mind with the dish, the pasta, I cooked it in the pot. You could strain it and things, but I recommend you put it right back into the pot because it's easier for me when I combine everything rather than use another container. I just continue to use the one I have, and I can mix everything in there, and then after that, I can go ahead and put it into one of my containers. So now that the garlic is just about ready, I'm going to go ahead and extract the garlic pieces. Once again, you don't really need to leave them in the dish. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. Let's put them in here and throw them away later. There we go. I'm going to show you this piece. See, that's a nice color. That's perfect. And once you get to that point, any more, it's going to start to burn. So I get that out of there. Now this is the easy steps. Take your red pepper flakes. I've pulled the garlic out. I keep the heat on. And I think technically, the technical amount of this would be probably 1/4 or 1/8 of a teaspoon. Don't quote me on either one. Personally, I like it to have some kick. So I put in, I don't know, you can replay those on your PC or your tablet, but I put in a decent amount of red pepper flakes there. I'm going to let that sit for about a minute. That's just going to go ahead and cook that red pepper flake up a little bit. It's going to help move the flavors through the oil. And I'll just continue to cut the basil and the mint up. So So the basil's pretty much good to go. Now you'll notice the basil leaves are big, but the mint leaves are pretty small. So those are a little bit more, work to get off the stem, but they also don't really need to be cut up as fine because of the fact they're smaller in the first place. So the mint is my favorite. I mean, you can smell it right now. For those of you who haven't cooked with mint in the past, it's great. It really does complement a lot of things. Keep in mind, I mentioned earlier, a lot of times I don't cook with the tomato sauces, mainly because, or a lot of you may suffer from this, from acid reflux type issues where, you have these things and it's uncomfortable. It gives you some indigestion and that's an uncomfortable feeling. So if you're someone who deals with that as some sort of an acid reflux thing and you're not looking to get on some sort of prescription medicine, there's two things you can do. One, you can consider putting parsley on all of your foods. You got to realize that greens like these are the opposite of acidity. So what they're going to do is they're going to really neutralize things. So keep that in mind. Also, if you're doing the parsley and that may be helping and things, and you need more support because your symptoms are worse, consider getting yourself some sort of alkalized water. So you could buy an ion pot like these that you can get off like a DavePalumbo.com or wherever you want to go. That will help too. If you're keeping acidity down in the body, it's really only for your benefit. And now with me eating more red meat for the next 5 weeks, I'm upping my red meat. There's a lot of acidity in red meat, so because of that I use my ion pod a lot more because of the fact that I know I need it. So now that we've gone over that little lecture, these are cooked up. I kept that around 4 or so. This is all set. So I can remove that, I can put it right there. So now I have all my chopped up greens, my mint, and my basil. I bring that over here. I take my pasta, which is in here, put that down. I take this olive oil, red pepper flake, garlic mixture, and I basically just dump it on. I mix that in. I take my my basil and my mint leaves. I throw those in. Get them all. And now that I got those in, I'm going to go ahead and mix that. I do it this way because I like to add the red pepper flake afterwards. That way the mint and the basil have a chance, because of the heat, to combine with everything. So it allows those, it sounds funny, but when you cook, sometimes the order in which you do things actually does make a difference. So I personally have noticed it tastes a little better. The mint and the basil taste a little stronger if I don't go ahead and do the red pepper flakes with it at the same time. So I'm just going to mix this up briefly. Okay, that's all set. Now I'll quickly take my roasted red pepper. I'm going to empty this quickly. Alright. You'll notice, see, these are already pre-chopped up a little bit. So I just basically go ahead and cut these in half. Once again, this doesn't matter. This is more or less your preferences to your food or for whom you're making it for. It allows them to make it taste a certain way. So let's see here. So we got that. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and add my red pepper flake, or excuse me, my red peppers in, the roasted red peppers. Mix it again. I wish I had a little bit more red pepper right now because I used more of the jar on my last one. So there wasn't as much as normal. I usually like to use a good portion. I really like it. So that's that. So this is basically the dish when it's completed. In here you're going to notice you have your pasta, your olive oil, your garlic, your basil, your mint, and your roasted red pepper. So once again, give it a try. Let me know if you like it. It's great for the off season. Once again, if you notice that it sits in you for a long time, which may not be a bad thing if you're dieting, consider just using a conventional pasta. A lot of people, if you do have gluten issues and things of that sort, consider staying away from the wheat versions and sticking to something that goes through you a little bit easier, like a conventional pasta. So thanks for checking out the video. I hope you guys liked it. Once again, continue to look up the website and the YouTube page, and I promise at some point you'll see some workout stuff. You know, but that's nothing glorious. I'd rather show you guys, you know, the inner workings of how I, you know, how I go about doing things on a day-to-day basis. So thanks for checking out the video.